The Bible names Eve as the first woman, but ancient texts whisper of another. Her name is Lilith, and her story begins in the same place as ours, in the Garden of Eden. In Jewish folklore, Lilith was the first wife of Adam, or the first woman created by God. But after he awoke from his slumber, he found that he could not control her. Unlike Eve, who was made from Adam's rib and thus subservient to him, Lilith refused to be Adam's subordinate. She wanted to be his equal, so she fled Eden, joining the demons and succubi in the dark wilderness beyond. Some say she even had wings like a bat and flew away into the night. Over time, Lilith became a creature of the night, haunting the darkness and preying on unsuspecting travelers. In Mesopotamian myths, she was a night demon, a terrifying winged creature with the head of a woman and the body of a bird. She was associated with the goddess Lilith, who ruled the underworld and demanded sacrifices from the living. Lilith's legend continued to evolve over the centuries, and by the Middle Ages, she had become a figure of temptation and sin. In art and literature, she was often depicted as a winged temptress, seducing men away from the path of righteousness. Some stories cast her as a healer and a wise woman, while others portrayed her as a monster, the mother of vampires and werewolves. So, what is the truth about Lilith? Was she a hero or a villain, a victim or an aggressor? To understand her story, we must go back to the beginning. In the book of Isaiah, Lilith is mentioned alongside other demons and evil spirits. In this passage, she is described as a seductive woman who leads men astray. However, this is not the first time her name appears in the Bible. Long before the book of Isaiah was written, Lilith's name can be found in the older part of the Hebrew Bible, specifically in the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, it reads, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of his ribs, and closed up the place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and brought her to the man." This passage tells the story of how Eve was created from Adam's rib. But some scholars believe that there is more to this story than meets the eye. They argue that the rib was not Eve's only creation, but that there was another woman created at the same time, Lilith. According to this alternate reading of Genesis, Lilith was created first, but she refused to accept Adam's dominance over her. She would not be a subservient wife. Instead, she chose to flee Eden and live in the wilderness. As punishment, God cursed her, saying that she would have no honor, that she would be hated and despised. And so, Lilith became a demon. But why was she demonized? What did she do to deserve such a fate? Some scholars believe that Lilith was demonized because she represented a threat to the patriarchal order. By refusing to submit to Adam, she challenged the traditional gender roles and power structures of her time. In a society where women were seen as property and had no rights of their own, Lilith's rebellion was seen as dangerous and subversive. As a result, she was labeled a demon, a seductress, and a temptress. Others argue that Lilith was erased from history because she was too powerful for God to allow her to exist. In many myths and legends, she is depicted as a sorceress with great knowledge and powers. She was feared by both men and demons, and her presence threatened the divine order established by God. In the end, Lilith's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of female power and the consequences of challenging the status quo. She is a reminder that women who dare to speak out and demand equality and respect will be punished. Lilith, the forgotten first woman, whose story has been lost to time. Thanks for watching. Which woman from history would you like us to cover next? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more secret history files. See you next time.